Apparently the other mic is not working here. Thank you very much for your active participation. Next up we're gonna have the National Board update. So all the lovely people, please come to me. And yes, you have first now half an hour of presentation, and then we have a Q&A, and then a welcome back, but everything else follows. So, Thomas, take it away.
Yes, thank you very much. I hope you are all very energized right now to endure our terrible presentation. No. It's going to be great. I'm going to tell you a little bit. The speaker, okay. Okay, I'm talking, and then we see how loud it is. We speak like this. It's good. What? Okay. Yes. Now we're not that loud anymore. Hopefully you neither. So as I was trying to say, like we're gonna talk a little bit about what we did in the months since our last National Assembly at Braunschweig. And yes, prepare a little bit of updates. Oh, that's new. Okay. Oh yes, that's me. So, in case you don't know, Thomas, President. So, a few general updates. Well, generally, my tasks include like coordinating the boards, doing a meeting, looking what everybody's doing. Yes, that also happened now in the last month in general. I put a lot of work actually to preparing the NA here, working together with our sharing team here, putting together the agenda and everything. So that was also a part I wanted to mention really. An actual update here is, I think you've heard it a little bit yesterday, working on getting our first intern. So we do have an intern almost. It's a little unclear still, so I would like to introduce you to Lazar, our intern candidate, who wanted to be here actually, but does not have his visa yet. Let's see how that continues. So we have this intern candidate that he's from Azerbaijan actually, and he would like to work a little bit with us in the field of yes, institutional cooperation and in organizational development, looking to build up actually a structure where we can continuously have interns or even employees that are funded by public projects. Yes, we will keep you updated if that will work out. At the moment, it's really just waiting for the visa. One field I'm working in is always education, and I do that together with the board supervisor of this field, our education officer Yasmin. If you remember, yesterday she can't be here because she's actually working on doing that at the VDSE Congress. But what we did is actually establishing a little bit the education team. We worked together on a stakeholder mapping to see a little bit who we actually want to talk to for institutional cooperations. And yes, also I wanted to announce that we, so Yasmin and I are planning to put together an ESN Germany delegation for the European Youth Event. This is happening in Strasbourg in May, I think, or yes, in June.
European Youth.
Oh yes, that's how I put it on the slide. Actually, I can't remember dates, so I put it there. Oh yeah, I put it there twice. Amazing. Anyway, we plan to do that, and you will receive an email from us actually next week. So your previous event is actually young people come together in Strasbourg in the European Parliament and discuss about political topics, and as we very much have an opinion on political topics, as people who were in our session just now probably know, we want to go there, and we would like to invite some of you to come with us there. Yes, and then we started on improving our relationship with the DIAD. It was very nice. We had some guests here yesterday from the DIAD, and we really want to continue talking to them and annoy them with all the great stuff that we are doing, and probably yes, build up some common things together there. And one other field is the international updates. Also, there's a part support for that. This is Alonso, who was here but unfortunately had to leave already. We've been also together with Alicia at the General Assembly in Sakarya. This happened last November, and represented ESN Germany there. Our Turkish friend there is very happy about that. Yes, that's one part. The other part is EGM. Probably you've heard about EGM. It's happening soon, and actually together with Zara, we worked on preparing the German delegation there. This is an update which is actually not related to any of our positions. We just took that over, and we hope we're going to have a really great event there. And yes, I wanted to take this opportunity to announce something. I already a little bit teased it yesterday. We will have the first international ESN event in Germany since, I think, 2017, and that is going to be the Web 2023 Karlsruhe. So thank you very much to the volunteers from ESN Karlsruhe, who are very much working now on getting this event to Germany. People who have been at the event last year probably know it's a very nice training event with other volunteers from the Western European region within ESN. Yes, and over to Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm the National Vice President. As Thomas already mentioned, I was also present at the GA in Sakarya, and it was a really nice event. Then in January, I was busy doing section calls, and even more section calls. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's the task of the VP to organize calls with every single section to see what's going well, what's not going well, how the network is developing, and I was busy doing that. So some of you saw me there. Then I'm currently working with our candidate sections in Bielefeld and Berlin, and also looking for new candidates like Erasmus United Gießen. Then I submitted 2 applications for the ESN Awards 2023, the training days for the training award and the freeway for the network award. And I'm also busy planning the training days of this year together with Leon. So yeah. Alright, I wanted to visualize what I did in the section calls and present the outcomes to you, and everything I came up with was this, because it's so much input from so many sections, and you did so amazing. Like, the network develops really well, and yeah, you just had very fantastic ideas, and I just wanted to point that out. So yeah, what works very well at the moment is that we have growing teams after the pandemic. Generally, this is very good, motivation is high. We also have a lot of sections that have full boards now, and many sections now have a clear difference between who's a member of ESN and who's not. That was often not that clear like half a year ago. Many sections now have requirements that you have to attend a meeting 3 times, organize 1 event, and then you sign the so-called Beitrittserklärung. That was not that clear before. Also, we have a lot of team building activities going on in the sections to strengthen the team spirit. And yeah, the participation at events like BISA or also EGM is very high, which is good. And yeah, people organize, on average, 1 event or more per week, which is also very good. Some sections do a lot more events, like 3 or 4, or like 2, maybe even more. And yeah, also the social media accounts look pretty good. We don't really have lip problems and stuff like that, so that's going pretty well. Where I see room for improvement is that both sections do at least 1 event per week, but it doesn't really show up on the official websites, which is a pity because you already do the work, so I feel like you can definitely show that. And yeah, I want to encourage you to register your activities on this website. It really doesn't take a lot of effort. You can also use your pre-text descriptions, your social media descriptions. It's actually a really good tool. ESN International is also using this data. We could use this data to apply for grants and stuff like that. And it would be really helpful to have all the stuff registered there. Then I also noticed something that most sections don't really have a budget. Like most sections just kind of go for it. And yeah, then they have too much money left at the end, or luckily it didn't happen that somebody was, or some section was broke at the end, but I highly encourage you to write down some kind of budget at the beginning of the semester to not run into the situation. Also, some sections, due to the pandemic, had problems finding local partners or keep their partnerships alive. Many sections want to improve this now, and if you have a local partnership, you can register this also under this website, esncar.org. Also, where I see room for improvement is the use of Slack and ESN Galaxy. Especially the ESN Galaxy account is mandatory if you want to sign up for international events like EGM, you definitely need it. So I encourage you to do that in your sections, like to make everyone an ESN Galaxy account. You can do this as a kind of workshop, like everybody is creating their account. Then they can also register stuff like events for activities.esn.org, and this takes some work away from the local board members, so that would be great. And also what I noticed that most sections don't really have training possibilities at the moment, but we will have a training possibility from ESN Germany. And now Leon will talk a little bit about the future projects.
Okay, I'm quick. So, hi, I'm Leon. And I need the next slide.
Erasmus.
So I just want to make some advertising for the training days 2023. Where would it be? Here in Biberach an der Riss. It's good to get there, to travel over Augsburg or Ulm. So it's really good to get there. It's from the 8th to the 11th June. And what is it? The possibility to grow, acquire skills, and create the ESN network spirit. So you're all encouraged to apply, but also please share it in your sections. It's also good for people who are maybe not that new, who are new in ESN. Next slide, please. And yesterday also the open call was launched for trainers and OC. So we need some people for the OC, as it is Selbstversorgerhaus. You need to cook over there. So we need an OC that cooks and does all the infrastructure. So please get in touch with Mustafa if you have any questions about that. And I need trainers. So people who want to create the content together with me, please get in touch with me. Next slide.
Hello everyone, so I'm Sahil, your national treasurer. So from my side, just the usual treasury works. So basically the management of finances, tracking the money flowing through our account, keeping the bookkeeping up to date, and also make sure all the payments are sent and received on time. Creating and sending invoices for different events to our section and also reminding them about the deadlines. Sending documents for the last quarter of 2022 to our accountant for tax declaration. Meetings and discussions related to the finances of summer national event Speed Break 2023. So this Speed Break we are trying to organize for 2,300 people, which is actually twice as compared to 2022. So from finances point of view, that means that we can have more profit, which can be used for building up the financial reserves of ESN Germany. Also, we are trying to apply for a grant in collaboration with other two countries, at last supporting some of the sections with finance related questions and tasks.
Okay, I'm going to do the updates from Emily because she is here. She did think about to create East and Germany merge, and especially a pet foodie. Then she updated apparently the website, especially the section with the regional coordinators. She wants to start the section presentations on Instagram pretty soon, and she was promoting partnerships. Now my part. So, by the way, I'm startup partnership manager, and I was collaborating with our current partners on the national level, was especially Wanderlust. I talked to them about our trip to Budapest a lot, and then I renewed our partnership with Einhorn. We all should receive an email about ordering condoms and stuff like that. Then on the international level, I was talking to Eurostandard and Federico, and also to our partner from Drink More Water. And then, I was reaching out for possible partners. On the last NA, I was talking about that I want to create a partnership with DHL, and I reached out to them. So far, I have a release for you. And I also was thinking about to create a partnership with Generator Hospitals. This is also in the making. And then next point are ESN cards. So as you know, I'm handling everything regarding order and shipment, and if students have problems or whatsoever. And so I also support like the sections to get their ESN cards. And then as Thomas already said, I'm also for this year the delegation leader for AGM. So if you might participate and you have questions, reach out to me whenever you want.
You can also stay over there. You don't have to. I mean, I like you coming to me as well. But you can also stay over there. That's nice. I know who's gonna have less time with the others.
Hey guys, I will give you some updates, but I have to be fast now, apparently. And what's happening in events of East and Germany? We are planning some national events for 500 participants. It will be in Köln. And we are also now, if you are interested in being in the OC, we still need some people here. You can approach me. You can approach me, okay. And what's happening more, like we are planning every 2023 for 2,300 people with other 2 countries. It will be an amazing event, and it will be our biggest event ever, I guess. And we are planning also, I'm planning training this with Alicia and Leo, and it will happen in June, beginning of June. If you are interested, let me know. And as always, I am planning the OS, like NAs with the OS, like more the logistics side. And in my mandate, like in our mandate, actually we organized, not organized, but we will organize 8 events in our mandates, and in the last year it was just 1. It was because of Corona, and we also like lost a lot of experiences there, and sometimes like for us also hard to organize big events because we are making mistakes and we are learning from our mistakes. I mean, we are not making best events ever, but we are still learning from them. And in my last 3 months, in my mandate, I will like concentrate more on knowledge transfer between, for example, NAs and between OCs. Like I will write more guidelines how to create, like how to organize an event or how to organize an NA. And we will hopefully try to launch ERS for the next NA. I'm not sure will it work or not, but it will make everything quite easier, especially registration. And I want to actually create an event manager community, but I'm giving up this because I really don't have enough capacity to do it in the best way, and if I cannot do it in the best way, probably I will just stop. Yeah. No,
Do you have a procedural question?
What is ERS?
Yes, that's one thing that's for procedure. Thank you. ERS, what does ERS stand for?
Event registration systems. Yeah, and if you want to, for example, register for an international event, we are going on this website and we are registering there. It's like easier for us organize NAs and registration phase.
Okay, perfect. So, as I understand, I divided my updates in 3 parts. So, first, project in Köln, so this is what I basically doing all the time. And then the 2 board supporters, which are adjacent to my position, the courses team, or social impact, and CLR. Okay, let's start. So, in Braunschweig, I talked to you about application for French-German cooperation. It was in the context of 60-year Élysée Treaty. Unfortunately, both projects were rejected due to very high competition. However, namely the Deutsche Jugendwerk, they literally asked us to apply again because they think ESN and the collaboration between ESN Germany and ESN France is really worth it. So I was at this point not able to follow up with that because of lack of time and priorities. But I highly encourage you also as a section to take these opportunities. So those grants have a lower, let's say, grant level, and they are also not only restricted for personnel, for sections in the southwest. So I have multiple ideas in mind for also sections from other parts of Germany can cooperate in here. And this might be a first way for you as a section to get fundings and like to develop more professionally. Next one. This is the current main task I'm doing. It was also mentioned, I think, 2 times before. We are applying for an Erasmus Key Action 2 grant for the Spring Break 23. Yeah. And we're doing it together, so you can see some more information. Doing it together with ESN Poland and ESN Czech. So we want to develop this pre-break, or we want to give it this idea of uniting Europe, tearing down walls, bringing people together from different countries, so more like Eastern countries, Germany, Berlin, so this has a huge impact, and we are applying for fundings here. Yes, so the deadline for handing in the application is 22nd of March. Right now it's mainly the national boards of Germany, Poland and Czech working on the application. However, I think we have a lot to do, a lot of work to do already in the preparation, so if any of you would like to contribute to it, also personally develop, there are tasks to hand out. Next, we have the Erasmus Generation in Action, where we talked about it yesterday already extensively by wonderful Juan and the focus group. I don't go into more detail here. I want to say here we also review the support of the sections in the local level to organize local dialogues, to get in closer contact to your internationals, ask what is their needs, and to ask what are the barriers for going abroad or what they're able to see. So you will hear a lot from me and maybe from other sides about this project in the next couple of months till next year. Perfect. So this was the updates from personally me. Then we have the courses and the social inclusion aspect. So the contact person here is Muban. She is somewhere here at the very back. So we continue promoting the implementation of courses in the daily section activities. We have the event of the month as a small incentive. We worked on the social impact days 22. We just had a fruitful discussion, I would say, about how to promote the summer, spring social impact days better, and to also increase the registration on activities of ESN.org. And recently we started to define the task description of the courses team more clearly, so it is more clear for us and also for newbies what we are actually doing and why you should join and what is the impact for us in the network. If at any point you feel like your section needs information, trainings, workshops on courses, please approach Nuran and we will make it very much happen. Finally, we have the CLR, so this is led by Isabel, she's not here this weekend, she's working really independently, so she's doing the calls, I'm not really much involved in that. We have our regular calls, roughly once per month. The attendance of different NB, AB, or whatever members is well established now, so yeah, they changed, so they can talk about their projects, their current tasks, and they can get exchange with the CLR. Well, we also want to thank you for the interactive calls. We also saw that many of you, after the call, commented the SS proposals. We're watching on tomorrow, so thank you for that. Also, we're checking a bit the attendance, so to see which section are there more often and which section are there more or less often, and in order to take countermeasures in order to keep the connection to the network vivid. That's all from my side. I will also take the board updates from Mandela, and we are done.
So thank you very much to the National Board for this update. Okay, so how are we going to continue? We're gonna have 10 minutes now for questions and answers. We're gonna have 10 minutes now for questions and answers. And after that, we have 30 minutes of World Cafe. So the World Cafe is a method where all the national board members are gonna spread out over this floor, let's say, so aula and outside, where you can go to the board member where you wanna ask questions about their update and their doings, and engage with them individually. So during this Q&A that we're gonna have now, I would ask you to really focus on clarifying questions and things that are important and good to know for all the participants in the room, right? Because it's not that long of a time, and if you have individual and more like questions that go more into the substance of what they just explained, please use the World Cafe. And one more thing before we start with the Q&A, the OC, so the organizing committee, asked me to remind you to please keep the Fluchtwege, so the ways to the emergency exit open. So these like old ways in between the tables where you currently have chairs and all of that, these are actually supposed to be free, so in case something happens that we can get out of the building quickly. So please keep that in mind to not put the chairs in the middle, especially during the breaks. Alright, and with that, I would open the speakers list, and it's business as usual. Please, if you have questions, okay, and if you have questions, please line up here, say your name and section, and please as well mention which board member you are addressing with your question so that they can already prepare for that question. Please be concise with your questions and answers, and the floor is yours.
Okay, I'm Derek, International Treasurer. My question is of course about the ESN card. As I can see from the exchange students and international students in your country, you have averaged 30 to 40K students in your country for a year for the Erasmus Plus program, and total 200,000 for international students. But what I can see from the numbers from your country, the ESN card implementation is kind of low. And what kind of strategies you will follow, or what are you currently doing about this to increase the numbers and make this product, membership product, even better in your country? And I'm asking this because you are the second biggest country in the network, and my hopes about Germany is beyond the mountains. I'm expecting way more than what you have.
Thanks for your question first. Of course, like, Sarah, partnership manager. By getting more interesting partners is my main goal to get more interest for the Erasmus students to get basically the card. And by doing so, I'm reaching out for like partners which support the aim of ESN. And I need the help of the sections to promote them also, within their sections for the local Erasmus students, and yeah, promoting it, working closely together. I think that's the best strategy.
Thank you very much. Chris is in Freiburg. Question to Thomas. You wrote down you improved the cooperation with the DRD. Yeah, what was the outcome of that? How was it before and how is it now? And what are the common things we bring with them together you mentioned?
So yes, thank you very much for the question from us, National Board. President, whatever. So if I remember correctly, I wrote down started to improve the collaboration actually, because we're not very far in that process. I think also compared to other countries, our institutional cooperation on the national level is quite low. And yes, I've been wanting to work on that for quite some time. What we started right now is actually identify who we want to talk to and start to write them emails, inviting them to events, to here, to the EGM. We want to do also the breakout report for the ESN survey and just constantly remind them of how cool we are, what great things our sections are doing. Yes, that's basically the start that we're having right now.
Thank you. Hello, Axel is in Freiburg. I have a question for Tobias. I wanted to have more clarification about the period for which you will have the grant if you have it. Is it because it seems like up to 400,000 euros? So that would be for a certain period. Do you know more about it? I'm clear.
Yes, you're clear. What did you say? Data grant, it's Erasmus Plus. Yeah. Okay, so just for clarification, it's about Erasmus Plus AA2. Yes. Yes, so we, the timeline is roughly from June to spring break. So from June to November, and then some debriefing, so maybe till December or January before.
Okay. Because I think, okay, maybe I didn't explain it. It's like, this like the grant you will have is just going to be post-spring break, basically.
No. So the current plan, how to we want to apply with, is that we allow sections during the summer and early autumn to do local activities based on like this common theme of uniting Europe, Liga 1, cheering down walls. We would, if the grant is approved, then we would like to give the sections the possibility we would like to hand out micro grants, let's say 200 euros. So this also might be interesting for you. So in case this is approved, you have the possibility to get money from us. We will distribute it. This will be like roughly summer and early autumn. Then we continue to spring break. We use some money and then briefing. So that's it.
Hello, Joseph is in Hanover. I think my question goes to Alicia. It's about the Slack. As you all know, many sections don't use Slack. But if you use it, we are using it at the north, we don't have the pro version. And now you have a problem. After 90 days, everything is deleted. So if we want to use Slack as a section, are there any option for us to get the pro version from the national board? Do we have any kind of certificate or license? Sorry,
Yusuf, could you repeat your section, please?
Yes, number.
Alicia, National Board Vice President. You can get the pro version when you're eingetragener Verein, NEB. That works. And I'm not sure if you have any kind of certificate. That's more an IT-related question, I guess. So it goes more to Mandela. But if you are an NEB, you can get this pro version. That's kind of for sure.
Okay, I was asking about the as a section or not MP?
Yes, but
Luis has a comment.
What's your?
yeah, Vice President.
Luis has a comment.
Can help with that answer. You as a sorry, Luis, as a one, you as a as an EV get Freistellung Bescheid after tax declaration. That is what you use to prove that you are non-profit, and that's what you give to slide to get full program.
Can I ask one last thing? Okay.
You can re-enter the business.
My name is in Darmstadt, Consus team member. Yeah, this question, it's not a question per se because he's not attending, but I want to question Mandila's reliability. We all saw his update, which was a blank for slide side. And I wanted to express my disappointment in his work in the name of all the RCs, for example. We are waiting since September for his work, for his help, which only takes like 3 or 4 most clicks, to be honest. And by researching, by talking with other people, I also heard that he is also disappointing other people, other members, even the NDA itself. And as he's not here, of course I cannot get explanation right now, but I will open the post on Slack on Tuesday or Wednesday. And if anybody else also has a problem with this unreliability, please join this thread and express why you are upset. Thank you.
Samuel, Tumi München. Would it maybe be possible to first give an overview of what you wanted to do last time? Since I think it's really difficult for all the new members and all the people joining here today to follow and actually know what you, like to compare what you said you'll do and what you did and everything. And I think it's fair for everybody who's here for first time.
Well, to be SME is not prepared yet. So, I mean, we have an action plan and can look up the presentation last time, but we don't have to.
But you could just show it off.
No, I think that's not possible in this time frame now.
Chris Hansen, again. During Corona, we adjusted the membership fee to have a minimum amount of money, so it's to Sahil and Mustafa, which makes traveling and stuff covered with that raised fee, and also it will be more and more. Together with the more participants at Spree Break and that money, will have probably more profit than prior Corona. Yes, in Germany you probably ever had. What's your plan with that, like additional profit on it, or are you aware of that it's probably way more? Next one, Bob Mustafa, but I think this is a question for Sahil, from my side.
So basically the idea that is that Sahil, National Treasure. So basically the idea is to have more profit which can be used for financing the other events. So let's say like we are gonna have sorry, I didn't get the question. Could you please repeat?
I was saying that we raised the membership fee to cover the minimum costs of the NV. That was the plan behind it, to have a working organization. This was done during Corona, so prior Corona the whole income was the Spree Break. And so now you have like the covered costs for the minimum work, plus the Spree Break income, plus the additional income because you will make Spree Break way bigger. And what's the plan to do with the money?
Neither of us.
Sorry.
Yes, Thomas, National Board President. So I think one part for now is building up reserves, which Xavier was trying to say also, because we are basically not at the level of reserves where we can actually do this kind of big events, so we really need to get there first. Another aspect is what you mentioned, the the basic needs that were covered with that are very much, well, basic. So there's a lot of other things that we could and want to actually spend on money. There is costs for attending events. There is, for example, now with the new budget, also a line for section visits to actually support the network with the National Board of People, like other people, volunteers carrying their holding workshops, telling a little bit about things to your local volunteers. So there's a lot of options actually where we would like to use that money, the basics that we discussed that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, there's a comment from Ivor, but before we do the comment, I would ask if there are any more questions, because we're already over the time, and then if not, I would propose to close the speakers list after the people standing here. Are there any objections to that? No, speakers list is closed. Ivor, go ahead.
My comment for this extra amount,
Present.
I beg from His International, the treasurer. My comment about the extra money is this. Since you are getting bigger and bigger, the control mechanisms becomes harder and harder for the section and the network operation. For this, we have a structure that's called secretariat. For secretariat, you will need the office, you will need the office work, office expenses, and the investment for that. Plus, secretariat will bring you to the next level, to be better in the project, to be not get rejected as my project manager says from the French-German collaborations, etc. This professional structure will help you to have next level in your network, but for this, you need money. And this money will come from this reserve. So actually, when you will be maybe the next national board, you will be able to use the structure and the funds. So no, don't say no to extra money, as soon nobody gets money in their pocket. It is your network's money and it will be for the quality work, for me.
Very quickly. Yes, Thomas, National President. Yes, thank you very much. Like long term, this is actually a goal, which is actually also kind of mentioned in our 3-year strategy. But of course, this is, as I said, long term and not something we can do immediately with that money.
Patrick AB, we've got a question to Toby. Since Cologne was the OC for the first German section meeting, and this couldn't happen because no one from France registered, do you think it should be a priority and is realistic to apply for grants that depend on the cooperation between Eastern Germany and Eastern France?
Is it? Say it again, question, just a question.
Do you think it's realistic and it should be a priority to apply for grants that depend on the cooperation between Germany and France?
Realistic, yes. So I would say, realistic, yes. So from the 5 applications I wrote until now, I think the level, what they ask and what they expect, like for example from the Bürgerfonds or to the Jugendwerk, I think it's a medium level, so it's realistic to invite and to get a grant. Priority, I would say, rather low at this point. Priority, I would say, rather low at this point. So I see more priorities. So I see more priorities in. So for next time to have more institutional grants instead of action grants. To make this prepaid Erasmus Plus grant working, so I definitely see high priorities there. Yeah, yes, priority no. Yes. We gave everything about the capacity.
I'm sorry. one is international. Thank you very much for the update. It's really nice to see ES in Germany developing and growing so much. I think you're really doing an excellent job, and I'm also really happy to see the developments in the grants. I will, however, recommend going for a youth participation activity for EGM, but we can talk about that later, because I think, for the spring break. But I have a question for Thomas, actually, from my friend Thomas, and it's about research. Yes. So, in June, we're going to launch the new edition of the ESN survey, and we want to make it the biggest ESN survey ever, and we want ESN Germany to be one of the countries with most answers. So I want to ask you, how do you think we can have a dissemination strategy so ESN Germany breaks all the records in terms of answers? What kind of things can you do? What kind of things can they do to collect data from Erasmus students to improve mobility altogether?
Thomas, National President. Thank you very much for that question. For example, one thing we could do is have our International President come to NACE and talk about it. So yes, I mean that's what we need to do. I mean, talk about it. We just had a session to explain why this is actually necessary, how our work and a lot of the work that's also ESN International is doing, it depends on these surveys and share the outcomes. Basically, I mean, we are planning to prepare.
I'm asking about the questionnaire, right? Because we need students to fill out the questionnaire. So we will launch the questionnaire, and we need people to convince their students to fill it out. So the report will come later.
Exactly. Yes, I will build towards that. Actually, we need to show what that actually brings, and so that you all are actually motivated to convince your Erasmus student. And I think that's pretty easy, because it's not that big of a challenge to fill out the questionnaire, because you have a very direct connection with your international students, and if you share them and say, oh, it would really help us, and it will actually also help you, we are actually tackling these issues. I think this is very possible to share in your WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever groups. I think we can do a lot there.
Thank you so much. Our second question, very fast. Yes, this one I think it's probably for Tobias, but maybe also for more people. So, in the last local phases that we launched, for instance, for the SIM project, in which we give money from ESN International to local sections to organize activities, unfortunately, we don't have any German section apply. And this is a pity, because German sections do amazing activities, but I think maybe sometimes they don't feel that this kind of initiatives concern that much. What can we do to convince, to get sections more engaged, to participate in this kind of local phases, so we can, give them the funding and they can work towards these objectives?
Yes, indeed, that's a question I have in my mind for the last, 3 weeks. I would like to work, I see 2 possibilities. First, working with incentives. So, I mean, we get money for it, right? So that's already one incentive. And the second is to show that our work and what we are doing all the time has such a huge impact, and we are not only doing the events and the parties. We contribute actively to Europe, to the EU, to understanding other people, and for this German word Völkerverständigung, so friendship across borders, let's say, and cultural exchange. And so I would like the sections to understand that their daily activities has a huge impact on Europe and on the society we're living in. So once you understand it, the ESN has a meaning. I hope they are motivated to contribute more and to do these local phases and contribute here and report to them. That's basically it.
Tomorrow at 12 we have the deadline for the local phase for Green Erasmus, so they can apply for funding.
Awesome. Thank you very much for this vivid Q&A and for the National Board. So next up, is someone from the OC here that could maybe answer me with a nod about a question? Whether it would be possible to push, okay, dinner back for 15 minutes? Yes? Okay, thank you. Because otherwise we would have to cut the World Cafe. Alright, so next up we have the World Cafe. The national board members are gonna swarm out over this floor. So a couple of them in here in this room, then outside in the hall, and also in the other room on the opposite side. You are free to walk around. Join whichever group you like, ask your questions, thank you, so 15 minutes later, awesome, so we have 30 minutes. And then please be on time, come back here in 30 minutes, which means at 45, I want to see all of you in your seats here, because we're going to talk about the new summer national event, and it's going to be the last point of today. And talking about this, I would like to ask Marius, if he's already here, to come forward to me for a couple of questions. So yes, please, now you can all look out for the people in pink, where they are going to go, if you already know who you want to ask the first question, and enjoy the World Cafe. It's a win-win, really. Everyone make your way back to your seats. Thank you very much, highly appreciate it.
Ich sitze irgendwie da hinten so.
Hi everyone, please sit down, quiet down. We have one more topic for today. The summer national event, something potentially national organization changing, so please engage for one more agenda point tonight, and then you're gonna have your food. Awesome, thank you very much. Then I would like to ask
It's on. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Marius from ESM Cologne, and I'm the head of the OC of the party organization of the national event happening in Cologne this year. So let's start. So first, what is it? Glad you asked. The national event in general is like, for those of you who don't know, Erasmus and ESM members from all over Germany come to one city in Germany and just to have an awesome time together. And by now it's always been the spring break in Berlin, but now it's in Cologne. So for those of you who don't know the spring break, it's like, probably knows if you know the spring break, so I'll make kind of short. A flag parade, party, and bags and stay in one big hostel. So, now the national event in Köln, which is like more of the stuff you're probably looking for. The basic facts, it's like 450 people for this year from like all over Germany. It's also a little smaller as a spring break, like in this iteration, but we are looking to increase it in the size in the future. And then the price will be 120 euros per person. And since like a lot of sections are pretty close, like Düsseldorf, Bonn, Siegen, and Duisburg, there will be day and also night guests from those sections. And the current idea is also have flag parades, which is like basically a very cool thing to do, and also the city tour museums, and also 2 social events in the evenings, and we try to make it not too party, so you have it like a little bit different, but it's still in the making, so you will be updated about it. Jesus. No. Okay, now we're here. And so it's also, since we are still like having ideas and it's not everything set by now, so it's also up to each and every one of you. If you join the OC, you could be also part of the event. And maybe since it doesn't have like a concrete name yet, it's like in the works, maybe you are the person who comes up with the name of the event in Cologne, and like all iterations of the event afterwards will be named after your idea. So when you now think, without talking about cheese, will think that it was like in the German news, how can I be part of it? It's pretty easy. So we have like accommodation team, culture team, communication, PR team, and sponsorship. Those all need like still help from people who want to have out and take part. And the thing you just have to do is like at this email, which is like the email of the event, basically, or like the organization committee, you write a mail there and contact us and say what you want to do and how do you want to help out. And when you do this, we get in contact with you and we figure out what to do and do the next steps to ensure that you can participate in the planning of the national event in Cologne. So the next meeting, which will be obviously remote since like people are far apart, will be next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And so since we have now the chance to have really a big and awesome event in Cologne, and it's like the first time here in Cologne, we have a chance to make it really, really awesome and set a big and high standard for the next years to come. So, and as always, thank you for your attention.
Awesome, thank you very much. So this was actually very quick. I like that. Anyhow, we're gonna have a question and answer round also for this one. It's gonna be 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, thank you very much. Please come to the front and I hereby open the speakers list. Yes. Any questions? I know it's late, but this is a new thing. I guess there might be some questions that you have, so please ask them if you have any.
It works? Yeah. Oh. Hi, Christian, local treasurer. Well, I just want to ask, like, since like the world is too big, last year, obviously, the years before that, I just want to ask, like, are you in contact with the organization company called World is too big, so you can like learn from their experience as well, or is there like a cooperation going on, or is this just like you going for it and see how it goes?
I mean, it's depending on the part, since some people are the same, which were like in the organization committee from Spielberg. Like for the talk from the party section, we're like from basically Cologne here, but since we know all the like, connections and stuff like that in this department, this is like the thing, but in general, I think there are like some connections to the people who are like organized Spielberg to have like experience and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you too.
Margarita, yes, and Mesa Munich. Are you going to use the BIM in the event?
The what?
The visual identity model. The visual identity of the exam.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question. So the idea of the event is basically to present the shred rate, but just come on board.
Yeah, there's like also like the idea behind to do like more like in the topic of diversity. So we're looking to put that some way in the program, but since it's like still, I say, in development, we see like how much it is like, or how it's like expressed.
Can I comment? So your candidate is that the all of you will always have a trade rate, and if, for example, go to Cologne, then every summer.
Exactly.
For the record, there's a follow-up question. Any more questions for the summer national events in Cologne? Going once, going twice. Okay, so I'm going to close the speakers list. Any objections? No? Alright, speakers list is closed. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, thank you very much for the presentation. And so we're gonna have the closing and the OC announcements now regarding dinner and social program. But I would also like to remind you, please hand in your voting devices. Afterwards, not everyone jump up now because I would like to ask the OC to the stage, please. OC, someone? Give us some info about the further consideration of the evening. And then we'll be here to collect your voting devices, please. Also, since you might have noticed that we didn't do the reflection groups yet, but food is already on its way. I would highly encourage you, no, actually not encourage you, but please ask you to do the family reflection groups during dinner, so you all get together and eat while reflecting. I think we're all multitasking. Yeah, multitasking. Woo. OC, ready?
Okay, yes, we're ready. Okay, so first for the social program.
Yes, hello again. We're very excited about tonight. We have a really cool program for you guys. And in case that you need some music or videos or something and you haven't sent them to me yet or told me about it, please come before the whole CarNAval system starts, because we want to have everything ready and not call you up on stage and then find everything. So please come to me after dinner or in the time before the system starts so we can get everything ready. And I would like to speak to Ias and Rostock about a little thing after the announcements here and before dinner. So please just come up to me for a very brief chat. Thank you.
Okay, now I have a quick thing to say. As Thomas already told you this morning, we have sugar cubes. I think he also explained what they are. I just want to remind you all to write your sugar cubes. They're in the room just on the other side from this plenary in Nippes. There everyone has their envelope. So please, if you have something nice to tell to anyone, you can do it anonymously or however you want. Please leave nice messages. There are pens in front and paper. If there's something missing, just tell me. Just a reminder, this evening is a good evening because we're staying here. So please, everyone, write your sugar cubes.
Alright, so could I ask the family leaders to come to the stage, please, to tell your... I know, but they can already make it. To announce your families where you're going to meet, but please just already make your way to the stage to see this little talk. Thank you.
While you're doing that, I was asking her to stay silent. Perfect. Okay, so two quick things about the food. Food is pizza, okay. The pizza is arriving as we speak. I can introduce you to that, okay. So we are doing a buffet in the foyer, and for time reasons, we would like for you, like if you're able to do that, just eat while you have your reflection time. There's no concern there. Should you go in the room downstairs, please don't eat there, the quiet room, because we don't want anything to happen there. Apart from that, for the social program, just like yesterday, bring your drinks. There will be one free beer for everyone, because we were kind of sponsored.
by Köln. So there's one free beer for everyone. Apart from that, please bring your drinks, whatever you like. There's no concern. You can bring just like yesterday. You can bring everything. And please, we're going to try and tie them together afterwards. So yeah, just to encourage you, because we had a lot of work last night, cleaning up cups, bottles, whatever we found all over the place. So please just keep the place tidy and clean up after yourselves. Is that a comment? Yeah. Yeah, we have non-alcoholic beer as well. If you want to beer, right? We can also have a soft drink, of course. Yes. Yes. Sorry, can you speak up?
What time is the CarNAval? Because some of us have to go back to the
Yeah, of
hospital
course.
and come back.
Yes, so after dinner you have time to go back to the hostel to take a short nap or rest or get ready in your costumes depending on how much time you take. And we will meet here again at 8:30. So please be on time so we can also start our session on time. We have a lot of program and we're really excited. And yeah, 8:30 here, please.
Yeah, and please be on time because the program literally started then. It's not like a dinner where you can walk in and it doesn't really matter if you're 10 minutes early or late. We have like a program here and it's a type of program because there's a nice contribution. So please be on time or you're going to disturb the program. Thank you.
Also for the pizza, there's a vegan pizza option. It's on a different table, so only the people who registered as vegan or lactose intolerant also can eat that pizza. Please, nobody else eat vegan pizza. And the pizza is coming in 3 stages, so more pizza will be delivered as we go. So don't be afraid. There will be more pizza.
Thank you. Alright, Monsieur please tell us where the family is.
People, I can multitask. Please meet me before the dinner here.
I can multitask, so please meet me with pizza in your hand. Next, where we were yesterday, so in the room next.
You could also meet in front of the lights, that might be convenient to say that for the other ones, that could be in front of some lights.
My family knows where we meet. We meet exactly where we were yesterday on this third table over there.
Yes, same goes for my group. We go the same on Saturday, also same group as the other group. And feel free to take some pizza.
For my family, we are going to meet outside the guest.
Unlike all the other groups, we are going to meet exactly where we were yesterday.
Okay, so for my group, let's grab some pizza and meet in front of the Institute.
So we will just take the other table.
Avengers, we meet over there.
Woo!
Team 50 outside will meet there Hanover. We'll meet in Hanover.
What is it? Remember the name of that already. Let's meet at the back, like at the back of the lecture.
We also meet at the same place like yesterday.
First time you can meet right up here that we can decide where we go.
Yeah, same for family Ashabito. I hope he's still alive. And really just back.
Yeah, but we were really congratulated because we don't want them to stay so yeah.
You're gonna meet here on the stage with pizza.
For my family, we came to yesterday's formation there. You want to take a pizza?
Die Großmutter, we meet where we have yesterday, and this area is here.
I'm super lost which place already actually. Maybe we can repeat like the address. Kiel. Kiel is a very nice city. Let's go. Same room as yesterday, 5 downstairs.
Normally, let's meet together and then find a spot.
And now my vote delegates, stop. My vote delegates, please come to the front, work your voting devices, and then you get your pizza. Thank you very much for today.
Enjoy.